Okay. Newell's Goods. We owe this man.
Need something? Just get worse and worse.
I've had enough, Rosa. Siegart's gone too far this time.
Oh no,
Let
this
it go?
again?
Why
James,
should I?
You have to let it
Every
go.
time he pays NSEC, he enables them, Rosa. He's telling them it's okay to blackmail us. It's ridiculous.
It's the way things are, James.
You're right.
There's nothing we can
Just
do
wish
about
things
it.
would change in this city.
We're fully stocked on supplies today.
Welcome to Newell's. Let me know if you need help with anything.
Types of things do you sell here?
We're a general goods store, so we carry all sorts of materials you can use to outfit yourself for galactic exploration.
Sounds like I'm the one who should be helping you.
Do I sound that awful? I didn't even realize. Terrible, just terrible. You'll have to excuse me. With all the ruckus my husband's been making at the Merchant Alliance meetings, it's difficult to get any rest. Poor old man has himself mixed up in a foolish crusade against Dietrich Sieghart, who he's angry at for paying off Neon security.
Who is Dietrich Sieghart?
He runs Sieghart's Outfitters. It's right outside the spaceport terminal. I suppose you could say he's our only real competition. If you ask me, he isn't such a terrible person. Please don't tell James I said that.
Why would Dietrich Sieghart be paying off Neon security?
For protection, I assume. They apparently target certain businesses with some type of safety assurance fee scheme. We've been spared that indignity so far, but it's absolutely disgraceful this kind of thing is happening.
What's the Merchant Alliance?
It's a little group James formed with some of the other vendors on Neon. I'd call it more of a support group, because all they do is sit around and complain about how hard it is to run a business here.
All right, you don't think Sieghart's doing anything wrong?
I don't believe he is, no. I think my husband has Dietrich all wrong. He's probably doing what he has to do to survive. Just, please don't tell James I said that. I don't want him to think his own wife is doubting him.
Why are you convinced that your husband's wrong?
It's just a feeling that I have about Dietrich. I'm sure he's paying off Neon security because he has no choice. He can't afford to fight back like my husband expects.
Does James know you don't agree with his crusade? Obviously not, because you told me not to tell him.
I have no idea. Anytime the subject comes up, it turns into an argument. Frankly, he's so obsessed with this Dietrich situation, I don't think he's listening to me at all.
Well, I wouldn't mind helping your husband solve this problem.
Oh no. I'd hate for you to get sucked into the whole silly affair. It would be so lovely to see my James happy again. He used to smile at me all the time, you know. Now all I see is worry on his face. I suppose you can speak with him about it if you like. But perhaps you'd like to browse our store a bit before you do?
You mind telling me how you and your husband met?
Oh, he'll be so upset for me telling you this. But it's such a funny story. I can't resist. James and I used to work on the Chasm Bass line at Xenofresh. We didn't do any of the Aurora extraction, just dealt with the leftovers. I was a supervisor on the line, and when the alarm went up that it had been stopped, I investigated. I find James inside a storage vat, up to his shoulders in stinky fish guts and blind as a bat. The gut got in his eyes, you see. I had to walk him to the showers, strip his work clothes, and hose him down. When he saw me standing there, he turned bright red. After the shift ended, we went out for a Terra Brew and talked. A year later, we were married. Better times. Better times.
What's your opinion about Dietrich Sieghart?
Dietrich is actually quite a lovely man, though lately he's been under a lot of pressure, which has made him rather bitter. When we first opened our business here in Akuchi Market, he was actually very helpful, offered us advice, Didn't treat us like competition at all. I'm sorry, I just don't believe Dietrich is doing anything wrong paying off Neon security. We all do what we have to do to survive in this wretched city. Unfortunately, my husband is convinced that fighting City Hall is the way to solve all of Neon's problems. I think he's wrong.
This place is called Ikuchi Market.
Stop by again soon.
Ikuchi Market?
Now, James, I don't want you to get upset, but Administrator Bayou came by while you were out.
Oh, yeah? His Majesty decided to come down from his throne and walk amongst us peasants? What did he want?
He said he wanted to personally thank us for our contributions to the city and hopes for our continued support. I'm sorry.
Our contributions? Those taxes we pay are a sham, so he can line his ivory trade tower with another layer of gold. Makes me sick. If you have a moment, say hello to my wife, Rosa.
Already did.
If you're looking for supplies, this is the place.
What's the story with you and Rosa?
I arrived in Neon almost, 20 years ago? I had gotten a job at Xenofresh through a friend and started working on the loading docks. After a few years, they moved me up to Kazanbass processing, and that's where I met Rosa for the first time. She was my supervisor, but we hit it off right away. It wasn't long before we decided to quit Xenofresh, get married, and start our own business. We've been in love ever since.
All right. Is all of Neon security corrupt?
I'd say the majority of the guards are rotten, and the few who aren't simply take a paycheck and look the other way. They have Neon completely under their control. The Freestar Collective's own security doesn't even maintain a presence here. If it wasn't for the Freestar Rangers outpost, there wouldn't be a shred of justice in this entire city.
All right. Well, I'll go talk to Seagart and see if I can talk some sense into him.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. That'd be extremely helpful. I honestly don't know what to say.
Well, saying thank you might be nice.
Yes, of course. On behalf of Rosa and I, thank you. Just be careful when you're dealing with Sigurd. He can be surprisingly unreasonable when he's cornered.
This starts the quest all for one. How often have you tried speaking to Seagart yourself?
The first time I brought up the subject, we got into a huge argument. Sigurd said he had every intention of paying Neon security and that it was final. After that, I tried to speak to him a few times, but he's always been too busy to spend the time to sit down and have a decent conversation. It's obvious he has no intentions of talking to me anymore. I honestly don't know what I did to make him so angry with me. Thanks for stopping by our shop.
Goods has a full line of equipment and accessories for all your hectic needs.
James Newell has asked me to dissuade Dietrich Seagart from making payments to Neon Security.
Packaged food? Check. Neurolamps?
Let's go see this man, Seagart. This is my boy.
Head to Euphorica after work tonight?
Nah, I'm feeling a little burnt out. I think I need a break.
How about hitting up the rooftops and watching lightning hit the span?
You know, that actually sounds like a good idea.
Great. I'll bring the blend, you bring the chunks.
It's a date.
Hey, you watch that robot, man.
Come on in, please. Have a good look around.
I am. You seem to have a back room back here. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I think I'm just wrong.
I just really need a mental break.
Welcome to Sick Heart's Outfitters. Welcome to Sighart's Outfitters. Everything you need to explore the settled systems. If I don't have it, you don't need it.
What exactly do you sell?
The question should really be, what don't we sell? We carry a wide assortment of equipment perfectly suitable for stellar exploration and extraplanetary excursions. Best selection in Neon.
I'll take every artifact you have in stock.
An artifact? Are you making this up? Well, like I said, if I don't have it, you don't need it. But I have a lot of other things you need. I've spent years perfecting my business by polling customers, measuring sales, and carefully adjusting my inventory to cater to just about everyone. So take your time, look around, ask me questions. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, you sound like a good businessman. This is quite an impressive shop you have here. Got that
Thank
person's
you for
face.
noticing. I have a lot of overhead in this place, and just between you and me, I am up to my eyeballs in debt. This is a prime spot right next to the spaceport terminal, but the bills and the rent here are astronomical.
Are you usually this open with your customers?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It can be off-putting, I know. I picked up the habit from my mother. She was an extraordinary woman, made friends instantly wherever she traveled. Wise as well. If she was still alive, she would have told me to move my shop and cease paying these exorbitant fees.
I would tell you the same thing. I think they're just taking advantage of this guy. You have a nice shop here. You should be making a fortune.
You'd think that, right? Unfortunately, I'm barely scraping by. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with the details of my business all day. You're here to shop. So why don't you help out a poor shopkeeper like myself and buy something?
How long have you been in business?
I've been at this location for the last 8 years, but I've had a business in Neon for almost 20. As soon as Ryujin broke ground on the tower, I knew the city would start swarming with people, so I went all in. I love this business. It's my life. I can't imagine doing anything else.
Maybe your store would be more successful outside of Neon.
My dear mother would have said the same thing. The fees here are quite expensive, and I'm barely making ends meet. But I've always been quite stubborn. It has not always been easy, but I've been at this location for 8 years, and I won't give up. My business is my pride and joy. You won't find another store like mine on Neon, so please support my business with your patronage. You won't be disappointed.
James Newell objects to you paying Neon security protection fees.
Yes, I'm aware of James's objections. That's partly why I don't go to the meetings. But if I don't pay Dexler, I'll lose my business. And what good would joining the Alliance do then? So, really, I don't have a choice here. If they want to fight Neon security, they can. But I need to protect my livelihood.
Hey, we ran into Dexler. Who is Dexler?
Owen Dexler is head of Neon security. But he is less concerned with crime than he is siphoning money from honest businesses. But it's not just him. All of Neon is corrupt. The only way to survive is to give in to their demands.
See, I knew he was a terrible person. Not him, Dexler. What are your thoughts on the Merchant Alliance?
It's fine in theory, but this isn't New Atlantis. It's Neon. Corruption is an institution here. What can a single alliance do to stop what's built into the foundation? I don't want to seem like a defeatist, but frankly, it feels like a waste of time.
What y'all could do is turn your backs when I frickin' kill Bayou. The merchants look up to you. They need your leadership.
Really? I didn't know that, but I suppose they used to treat me with respect until I started paying the protection. But they have to understand, I could lose my business if I don't pay Dexler's fees.
Persuade. I still think you should stop the payments.
And why is that?
+5. Oh, and it's because of Rosa. Rosa said she gets why you pay Dexler. She also said you're a good man, and good men stand up to corruption. So if I wouldn't have talked to Rosa, I wouldn't have this option.
Rosa said that? I remember when her and James first started. They were very green. It was a different time. Okay, you've convinced me. I will stop paying Dexler his safety assurance fee. And tell the Newells I will come to the next meeting. Maybe I will even bring some beverages and snacks. You can't stand up to Neon security on an empty stomach.
Bro, I'll be honest. Next time I see you, you're probably going to be dead.
Hey there, intrepid explorer. Ready to make your
Become part of the most advanced technology corporation.
I'm hoping he's not. Seems like a good guy. But that's why I think he's going to be dead. Because he's a good guy.
Hey there. Welcome to Newell's.
How can I help you today? Have a good day.
If you're looking for supplies, this is the place.
Dietrich has agreed to stop payments.
Well, I'll be. And all you had to do was talk to him?
Sometimes that's enough.
Meanwhile, I was so damn stubborn, I made this whole thing harder than it had to be.
Given you almost went blind, working with half a kilo of fish cuts in your eye. Yeah, I'd agree.
And I'd still be wandering around that storage vat helpless, if not for you. Thanks for your help on this. The Merchants Alliance is finally united. I don't know if we'll ever get a fair shake in the city, but it's a start. I had to chase more zone heads out of here today. I don't think they
That's
even
it.
planned it.
hectic needs. Packaged food?
Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe they won't just kill him. At least not during game time. He'll probably be killed post-game. That's it.